You know, it's me. It's Leo. I don't need to tell you guys what's going on. You know, my inanimate Pokemon cracking all the jokes in my head that I'm too afraid to make or that I'm afraid will affect my ethos for the sake of this channel. I'm getting closer to realizing my original goal. Now, I just got back from McDonald's. It is, look at that, 5 in the morning. Um, I went to McDonald's at 5 in the morning. I didn't get anything to eat, sadly. You know, it'd be it'd be awesome if there was something as fun and cool as going to McDonald's and then it wasn't tainted with all this soy health bullshit that like I don't know. Like I get so annoyed by people who like the all our food is fucking poison, so like why are you gonna dog specifically on McDonald's? um I like also had a problem with in college, like I am probably like based on how I act and how other people react, other than some people I've DoorDashed to who clearly love Burger King, I'm probably one of Burger King and KFC's like biggest fans in terms of like KFC compared to Popeyes. Popeyes is winning. Chick-fil-A's probably beating KFC, but Chick-fil-A doesn't have famous bowls. What about that? Where's the Chick-fil-A famous bowl? Where's the red beans and rice at Chick-fil-A? It doesn't exist. You look up the most expensive single menu item that Chick-fil-A off or sorry, not the most expensive. The highest like calorie density, whatever. The highest density calorie item, sorry, maybe not density, but like the highest calorie item at Chick-fil-A is like 700 calories. It's like some breakfast scramble thing. It's like 740 calories. Now that doesn't technically count because they have a 30 count nugget that I always get. It's like 900 calories, like 100 grams of protein, like it's 30 nugs, but that's like a family order of nugs, so like they don't count it as a single item. But then KFC, they have like, I think it has like maybe the number one, because like if you count family meals and stuff, it's got like it's got like the 7,000 calorie family meal thing or whatever, right? Also, I ordered an iced fucking coffee. I'm not complaining because, you know, I always come prepared. On the off chance that they did mess up my iced coffee, I also wanted a Diet Coke because, you know, I don't know. Uh, One of my favorite things used to be going to McDonald's and getting $1 any size drink, whatever, and then I would it was a perfect business thing by them because it was like, oh, what am I just gonna drive to McDonald's and not get a McDouble now, or I'm not gonna whatever. Um, Sorry. You know what, Leo? I don't think you drink coffee because yeah. I'm pretty sure he has ADHD or something. Because coffee, I bet would put him to sleep. He always goes, "Oh, I can't have coffee, man. I'll be so productive. I'll probably own the entire world by the end of the day if I start drinking coffee." Which is fair. I feel that he bluffs so much. It's this constant state of like I can't tell if he's messing with me or not. But that's like the state you want to be in. That's the state you're in when you bonded with someone or something. Um, because I'm just like thinking about video games and stuff. Uh, I like I said, I just got back from McDonald's. Um, it's too hot to drink, but not hot enough for a lawsuit. I'm I'm having a really good time programming. Um, you know, just all these random. Okay, this was CSS. There we go. Yeah, just all these random. Just like writing out different checks for like, wait, how should this function go? Dude, trying to think up classes for all the different snake stuff. And the thing that's really annoying is like, I feel like once I don't know, I've been working on this snake game for about a month now, like seriously, and not just like trying for 20 minutes and then doing something else. Oh wait. You're right. Freaking, you can hang on to those, big man. I had something I wanted to say. Because I felt something while I was driving to McDonald's at 4:20 in the morning this morning. I felt something in myself that has been missing probably it's probably been 2 years. I'm at 23 months, a little less than 23 months since like the build up to my most recent psychotic episode, like all that stuff. So I'm basically almost like technically on paper I should be fully recovered from everything. Technically it would be like last November basically, where they say like, oh, it usually takes a year. So it could take till this November to really feel like myself again. But I got news for everybody. I don't take my meds, right? I am one of these schizophrenic people that does not take their meds. Now, why don't I take my meds? Well, it's kind of this double-edged sword. Haha. It's kind of this double-edged sword that doesn't it doesn't foster the pursuit of happiness. I don't know if that was the right way to say that, but it doesn't when so I got put on lithium and like all these other antipsychotics and stuff after my most recent episode, and I hated how it made me feel. They said lithium's just salt and all this stuff, and I've tried looking into the chemistry of what was probably happening, but I had some really weird things happening with my body. Pharmaceuticals, it's gonna happen. Please cool off. I need the freaking. Oh. What did they used to call coffee? I feel like there was a super racist name. Obviously, there's still racist names you can call coffee, but like. It was like a really funny one that like wasn't that bad. You know what? I don't even. What am I doing? We gotta give him. We gotta give him the live scoop. It's July 2nd. We're officially. This is the halfway point in the year, everybody. This marks as I sit into my seat half a year into 20. Sorry, half a year. Halfway through 2025. I'm so fucking proud of myself for what I've actually done this year. Let me break down what I've done since COVID. I've sat and gotten drunk in my mom's basement with my brothers for, that was a solid like 4 months of COVID lockdown. And then I went back to college. I was completely isolated from everybody. There was an incident with one of my former roommates that got me cut off from my entire friend group because it was bad timing on my part and it was bad understanding by everyone else. But I basically only had like a handful of friends back left at college after COVID by the time I got back. I was mostly just door dashing all the time. I was off the track team, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're telling me if I just drive in my car for like 30, 40 hours a week, I can make like $500. Like, and like, I probably could have made more than that if I was being more efficient with it. But like, it was East Lansing. Like, you try delivering in Lansing, and after the 80th $4 East Side fish fry order, you'll DoorDash is the same everywhere. But trying to get back on track. I felt something on the way to McDonald's this morning, and that it wasn't that sneeze feeling. It was a different feeling. It was a feeling of zombies. How I coped. So once I recovered from my first episode, all I was doing was working. I was just working at a grocery store, got a promotion, it was going good, and then I saved up enough money to go back to college. And when I was in college, when I went back, I wasn't working. Specifically, I did not want to get too stressed out. I wanted to focus on school, like do all these things. And one of the things was because I wasn't working, I was also just as isolated basically as COVID because I was in a place I didn't know. I didn't, like the only way I'm really going to interact and hang out with people is if I go out drinking, which like I did enough of that, before I turned 21. Once I turned 21, it feels like I can count, maybe not on my hands how many times I've drinking, but I can definitely like in my head it's probably something like 30 times since I've turned 20. Like in 4 years since I've turned 21, I probably drank like 30 times total. It's really not that hard. Again, if you're just around people who are all drinking, right? Like I've schizophrenically isolated myself from all of society, which is why our our game production our game production company is being, we're doing a we're, we're doing a Series A round of funding, trying to get something going for our Snake game, maybe get some assets that aren't made in freaking Microsoft Paint, man. Nah. What I felt going to get a Diet Coke and a coffee at 4 in the morning, what I felt was bliss. Because I was going to start at Jimmy John's, and I quit after the first day, basically. And I was enthusiastic to just, like, give DoorDash a real shot. Because I was like, dude, there's no way I'm going to be able to code and, like, do all this stuff if I have to come to Jimmy John's. Like, I am not going to want to do this shit. I'm going to work at Jimmy John's, and then I'm going to have excess money coming in. Guess what I'm going to do with all of it? I'm going to invest half of it, and then I'm going to smoke the other half, because that's what I'm going to need to deal with working at Jimmy John's. And so I didn't want to do that. And so what would I rather do? I'd rather, make $30 a week, barely getting out and door dashing like when I go work out or whatever. But then I'm able to spend 80, 90 hours a week working on whatever the fuck I'm working on. And it's not a good balance. It should be way more balanced than this. Like when I say I'm dropping at least 75 hours a week into this game, you might think in your head, well, that's 10 hours a day. That's a little more than 10 hours a day. Yeah. So that bet that I made with Mr. Devilman, I told you he didn't know what he was getting himself into, but here we are. So I'm doing my side of things. We're still, we still got so much shit to do. Like, I seriously still don't know if I'm going to be able to deliver the goods on time, but contract's contract. We gotta live up to it. I just can't shake this feeling that I had when I was driving to McDonald's. This zombie feeling of how fucking cool zombies is. And I started thinking about my game. My snake game. My Garden of Eden. It's not the magnum opus that like I'm really necessarily working on, but it is mine. Or I mean, like again, like it's not mine, but it's like, but it's what we made. You know, we didn't come up with an entirely different new idea for a snake game. We just went and said, "Hey, snake's pretty cool. I think I could wrap my head around making a game around snake." And that's how we got this far. Um but it's not as cool as zombies. It's very hard to compete, and this is the thing. It's very hard to compete with a 3D game in terms of immersion and like environment and all these things compared to a 2D game. You have to use what you have and what your game is built on. You have to use that to its advantage. And so like zombies is really cool because it takes all the assets from something like Call of Duty that just like right, they have like everything you could ever want to make a game like zombies. And then they go, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna do a little Easter egg, we're gonna do this thing." Um when I say the more I work on games, the more Black Ops 3 makes me want to weep from how freaking perfect it is. Like I Black Ops 6 is such a fall from grace. Cuz like even Cold War when they were doing that, zombies like even though Cold War zombies sucked, like I was trying to go back through some of the Cold War Easter eggs. Like they're not that bad, man. And like 6 is better than Cold War, but like that's how bad that's how bad the revamp is it's just like it it completely takes out the thing that was cool about it, which is like all these things. There's like no HUD. You're just, you know, they dude, Call of the Dead, Mob of the Dead, Shadows of Evil, Garage Krovi, Zetsubo no Shima, top 5. Top 5, no question. And I haven't played zombies in a while. And I had this feeling come over me of like, you know what today feels like? Today feels like the day I try to get round 100 on Garad Krovi. Today feels like the day I go, you know, maybe I should try to 255 Revelations. I've never gotten a 255. It'll take like a week or whatever, but maybe that would be fun. Maybe that would be fun to just go for a 255 on Rev. Um, I think I could do with only classics as well. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. But so I wanted to think about why zombie, like what's so perfect about zombies. And everyone's going to say something different, right? There's the horror aspect to it. There's like the whole environment and like story part of it of like where I am in the map as it pertains to this story, and like it just like really add like it like 1,000,000 X's being in a place on a map if you know the story behind it. And like even if the story's kind of pointless like zombies, it doesn't really matter because like it's about the end user experience. And so what I always liked about zombies is like all the little things. It's all the hidden game knowledge stuff. It's all the hidden, right? They fixed max ammo so you just get it back, but like you used to have to reload. So you'd go, if you're playing with people, you'd go, "Hey, everyone reload, I got a max ammo." Just a little something. And then if someone grabs the max ammo before everyone reloads, oh, you yell at them or something. Like, I don't know. My game isn't as cool as Black Ops 3 Zombies, and it makes me sad. because I want it to be as cool as Black Ops Zombies. I think, you know, I could pull up my Unreal project that I was working on of making my own COD Zombies game. And I bet if I took all the time that I'm putting into the Snake game, if I had just taken all this time I put in the Snake game and then just kept working on my Zombies clone, I'm not even kidding. The Zombies clone would probably be ready for me to start building the first few maps out by now. Because I have the foundation for every little thing besides dogs, basically. I have the foundation for everything for my own Zombies clone. And you know what I realized? I don't want to make zombies. Because someone already made zombies. And it was really freaking cool. And every time they try to mess with the formula, it gets worse. And what I thought was, well, if I make a zombies game, I'm going to mess with the formula and I'm going to somehow make it worse. So I need to make something that's as cool as zombies, but make it my own. That way I can just kind of mess with it, right? That way, that may not have made a lot of sense, but it makes sense to me. Anyway, moving on. Hopefully this coffee's ready to go. Are you freaking kidding me? Ow! Of course it didn't shut. Gosh dang it. This is a comedy of errors. Friggin' 5:20 in the morning. Ha. Dude, McDonald's coffee. McDonald's coffee. I'm just saying. Yeah. Lazy ramble video incoming. Hide your calculators. My game doesn't have to be as good as zombies. My game doesn't have to be as good as Pokemon Heart Gold. My game doesn't have to be as good as frickin' Oblivion. My game doesn't have to be as good as Portal 2. Leo's game might. Mine probably won't, sadly. But it's not about that, right? It's not about making a game as good as what one person or a billion people all worked on together. It's about making something that I genuinely enjoy. Because, like, for instance, my friend came over and saw my game. And he played it in its infant stage, like, very, very freaking barely anything in there. He played it. And I had a good time watching him play it. Like, seeing someone go through everything I built and just being like, you know, whatever. Like, sure, is it insulting if someone doesn't hover over and then, like, be like, oh, what's this thing do for, like, all 60, 80, I forget how many freaking upgrades, I think there's, like, 50 or 60 upgrades in the game right now. You know, it's no problem. You know, some of those upgrades took 10 minutes to put in the game. Some took 2 minutes to put in the game. Some of them took 4 hours to put in the game. So it's like, you know, it's just like funny sometimes when it's like, oh, that's broken. And it's like, yeah, that took 5 seconds. And it's like, oh, that seems lame. And it's like, yeah, that literally broke my game for a day, like trying to figure that one out. And no one even wants to use it. But it's not my job to get offended by how people play the game. It's my job to build the game for people to complain about, for people to, I don't know. So like in zombies, right? My favorite part about zombies is how you can be more efficient with points and everything is very tight. Like trying to get through a Black Ops 3 map, the doors are insane. So you have to be efficient with your points. And so you have to do things like 6 shots to the leg, knife. Oh, Is it round 3? Let me RK5 to the knee, knife. Oh, now let me RK5 to the whatever. All these things to maximize points early and be as efficient as possible. It rewards you for playing efficiently, but it's not necessarily faster and it's not necessarily better. For Easter eggs it is, but whatever. This is pretty much a nothing video. I just, I got back from McDonald's and wanted to chill before I got going on everything. It's a zombies kind of day. I just feel like sitting down and playing zombies for like 12 hours, honestly. But I can't. It's the same thing I said in, all like, these other bet update videos that I've made. It doesn't. No, you're stalling to think of a joke for the end. It's so weird. There's like one uneven part on this desk, and I keep putting the coffee like right on it. I don't really have a whole lot else to add. Obviously, me doing like these mini podcasts, like me just kind of rambling things. I'm sure on some level it's entertaining for someone. Like at the very least, me just so like I don't know, like if I'm really depressed one day, I can come back and get a gauge on how I was probably doing today. And to that I say, uh, I don't know, friggin' catch up, old timer. I don't know. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to figure out save states and make a save state machine. So, Leo, we're gonna do a cheers. Oh, I gotta get my coding glasses back on. I can't even see my keyboard with these on. Oh, excellent. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'm again there really wasn't a point to this. I just really I don't know. I feel like once a week I just get like kind of down about working on stuff and I'm just like, "Man, I'm spending all this time on this stuff. Everything sucks. All this stuff sucks. It looks like dog shit. It feels like dog shit when I'm playing through it all this whatever." But then like after I try to, refactor a bunch of stuff and then like nothing's working for like 3 hours and then all of a sudden it does work and I'm just like, "Hey, remember when it wasn't working for 3 hours?" And then all of a sudden it is working and then I'm like going through everything. I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like, who the hell fixed my game? Like, it was shitty before, and then now it's like, I haven't had to, do a test run of it in 3 hours, and all of a sudden this actually is kind of cool. Yeah, but if anyone wants a job, I know, I know a lot of you out there looking for jobs. Probably couldn't be me. Um, Leo will pay you to playtest for us. We probably need about 10 to 20 playtesters. We'll pay you 7 great balls an hour, or you can opt in for 20 regular Pokeballs a minute. Leo can explain the difference, but I'd go with the great ones. The other one's a scam. They're both scams.